Or is it just me?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes,
Tanu, are you able to hear me?
yes, we can hear Sneha.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Um,
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Welcome everyone to the webinar that we have for today. Tejas, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just keep my video off because my internet is going to
Sure.
be.
Sure. So I'll get started. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for joining in today. Today's webinar is on WhatsApp forms. To begin with, I would just like to start us off with a quick round of introduction. I'm Sneha. I lead business development and sales at Glific. We have Tejas here. Tejas, would you like to just give a quick introduction and followed by Tanu?
Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm a product manager with Glific team. So I'll be walking you all through the latest changes that we have introduced in Glyphic and how you can use them. Glad to be here and hoping we all can have a good session.
Thanks,
Thank
Tejas.
you, Tejas. Yeah, guys. Hi, everyone. This is Tanu again from the product team in Glific. And lovely to see everyone join on the Thursday afternoon and looking forward to having a great session. Over to you, Sneha and Tejas.
Thank you, Tanu. Okay, all right. So the first thing first is I see a lot of organizations here are on Glyphic, but a few are also new, who are new to Glyphic. So what I'm going to do now is just briefly talk about what Glyphic is for next 2 to 5 minutes. For those of you who know, please bear with me. And if you have any questions, especially for the new folks who are here for the first time, please we can have more conversations about this after the webinar towards the end. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to start us off with sharing my screen and talking about what Glyphic does, and we will just after that I'll just hand it over to Tejas for the next phase. Okay. Okay, all right. Uh, so what Glyphic does is basically Glyphic is a WhatsApp chatbot builder. Most of you already know now what chatbots are and are might be familiar with WhatsApp and how chatbot works. Just wanted to get a sense from everyone if you can type down on chat box to say if you know what chatbots are by just yes or no. That would be just good to just get a sense from people here in the room. Okay, I can see a lot of yeses coming up. Even if it's a no, just let me know. Okay, okay. All right. So I definitely this is going to help me skip a few slides for sure. But yeah, thank you for sharing that you already know about what WhatsApp chatbots are. We see them everywhere. And chatbots are basically being used by nonprofits as well to scale up their programs or to make their programs more efficient through WhatsApp. So that's how people are using Glyphic currently. I'll just, for people who are new, just one slide on how WhatsApp works. So basically, what is a WhatsApp chatbot? It's basically either app-based or platform-based. App-based, you generally use an app on your phone. Either it's WhatsApp or WhatsApp Business to interact with people. So it's one to many, usually through a WhatsApp app. And on chatbot, you and your team can log in, set up automation on the platform. This is majorly for people who are looking at scale, looking at making their programs more efficient and delivering their programs through WhatsApp. So that's how you can use Glyphic. Um, it's it's basically being used currently by more than 120 plus organizations across India and outside of India. And we what we're saying here is 9+ sectors, but it's sector agnostic. Whoever wants to run Glific for their programs, they could use Glific. And just last one slide on like what does it usually offer. So it's consider this as more like a two-way communication. At times, you, how bots are usually set up is it's majorly one-way communication. You receive some information from customer service or other places, but there's no two-way communication happening. Most of the NGOs that use Glyphic, they set it up in a way that you're also not delivering information, but you're also hearing back from the user. And you're improving your programs or you're using that information somewhere, right? So you're also keeping that door open. So that's where the two-way communication comes in. It also helps you. I mean, through Glyphic, you can set up a data dashboard. You can see results on a data dashboard. You can integrate it to external platforms as well. If you, for example, we have seen organizations run LMS, have information on LMS, have app. So if you want to connect it to your app or to an LMS or to any third party platform, you could do it through Glyphic so that you're able to send messages on WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah, so these are some of our amazing partners, and there are a lot more on the call today. I'm very happy to see so many people coming in here today. But yeah, these are some of our current partners that you see here, and the list is long. In case you have any questions on what Glyphic is, let me know in the chat box, and I'll be able to take it forward from there. Yeah. All right. Tejas, I'll hand it over to you.
Yes, yes. Okay, so this webinar for the next 45 minutes is about showcasing the releases that we have made on the platform specific to WhatsApp forms related things. So this is similar to what we had done, I think in November. We had made a beta release of WhatsApp forms, and and now I think in this month of February, in the towards the last week, we had made a release so that now the WhatsApp forms is available for all the NGOs who are using the platform. And this webinar is to kind of like share with you the processes on how you can create a form, use the form in Flow, send it to the users, collect the responses, how the responses will come in BigQuery. And all this information is also available in our documentation. But also this is just like a quick walkthrough, and then I can also take up questions related to if you have any specific use case related questions, I can take those up. But yeah, that's the overall plan. But before I begin, if you have any things that you would like, so we have gone through the things that I think there was like questions that you had shared beforehand. So we'll try to cover all those. But if there's anything else anyone would like to kind of like bring up before I get started, otherwise I'll get started. I'll just give like 15 seconds. If you like to raise hands, you can raise hand and let me know. Also, throughout the conversation, if you feel like there's something unclear, you can kind of like pause me in that moment. You can raise your hand, you can use the chat box. I think Tanu or Sneha will kind of prompt me and we can take up the conversation. Or if you have any specific question on that. So most of the time I'll be like sharing my screen and walking you through, not on the slide, but also like, I mean, through the platform and like creating an example. So yeah, during that time, if you feel like there's a question or like something that's unclear, just feel free to raise your hand and just feel free to let me know to the chat box. So one of our teams will get to that. Cool. So right now that's the agenda. I'll quickly go through how to create forms, how you can send forms to the users, whatever you have created, how to get responses from users, so basically how to get the responses to the forms that you have created, and how to use those within your flows. For example, if there's like some questions that you have asked and you want to create branches in your flow based on those responses, things like that, how the data will be stored in BigQuery, and what are the present limitations in Glyphic on using WhatsApp forms. And I'll just tell you how the workarounds for those, what the workarounds are for these limitations. So, with that being said, just quickly, WhatsApp forms, I think it is good. It's like a new paradigm for engaging end users, especially for nonprofits where we do data collection, where we need registration info, where we need to, yeah, there's like like there is structured data needs to be collected. Like earlier, there was like a lot of back and forth involved, like when you have to create a flow, and the validation also becomes quite difficult if after someone enters you have to like loop them back, and there's like issues. I'm sure like most of the users in Glyphic, they can relate to this. So yeah, removes back and forth. I think all the questions start coming up on the page itself, so like someone can anticipate the questions, and instead of chatting, like like you don't know what the next question might be. I think obviously like that removes the need to go outside WhatsApp interface altogether. Like many of us use Google Forms to collect information. And also now we can add like widgets like date pickers, check boxes. Like so multiple checking was very difficult. Like we couldn't do multiple like check boxes, like selecting multiple options, so that things like that. Now it's possible. I wouldn't completely say it's like super easy, but it can be done if you just like understand how this works and use it accordingly. So with that being said, I'll just like run through the same scenario that I had done last time, just so that we take an example scenario of the form that we are going to create, and then how to use it, and then so that we have like this thing. So the scenario is like we are going to create a form of that will just screen for ask someone what is the month of their pregnancy, what are the conditions that they're facing, and if they need a call back from us. And that's an example scenario. It's not um, taken from any specific NGO, but just inspired by a few NGOs that we work with. So that's the example. I'll quickly. There's a question from Alistair. Can you guys please send photos on WhatsApp forms? Alistair, I don't like so far. I've not seen photos on WhatsApp. Like I think you can ask, like you can show photos, but I don't think you can ask them to send photos in the form. So that is not something right now how what WhatsApp forms support. I think they don't accept files. In how Google Forms we can take like any of the files, PDFs and slides or whatever things like that. Right now in WhatsApp forms we can't accept um, files. Yeah. Who knows, maybe a few months down the line WhatsApp will enable that, but right now it doesn't. So I'll just quickly share my entire screen so that you can then see uh, you can see my entire can you confirm if you're able to see my entire screen?
Yes.
Yes, Tejas, we can see.
Uh, okay, wait, let me close this. Okay, here it is. Okay, right now, I'll come out. So if you when you log into your Glyphic instances, you'll usually end up on this page. So to access forms, it's been enabled for all. So if you go within Quick Tools, and within Quick Tools, you can find the WhatsApp forms page, and then this opens like all the forms, like it's like a forms listing, and you can take actions within this. So like similar to the flows page, like there are like multiple flows that you have, and then you can go inside it and you can configure those details. Similar to that, there's the WhatsApp forms listing page. So here are a couple of things I will let's say I'll just quickly start off by first creating the forms as usual. You can create the form by, yeah, just giving it a name. And yeah, description is optional, but category is something which is mandatory. Like it's like you can select any one of these categories. These categories are is like a mandatory field from Meta, so you need to do that. And what a new thing they have introduced here is this option where eventually we all want to see the data really quickly, even though all the once the form is created and it's shared to the user, all this information whenever a user fills the form, the information gets stored in BigQuery. But if you want to link Google Sheets, like like if you want to see the data directly coming on Google Sheets, what you can also do is right now like create a new Google Sheet. Like it should be obviously in your drive, and like how we have writable Google Sheets. Um, like we have writable Google Sheets. You should give the right access to your the Google Service account. Once you give right access to the Google Service account linked to your Glyphic ID, linked to your Glyphic instance, you can add the sheet directly while creating the form itself. So what will happen is once I've created the form and once all the fields are finalized, then I can like, and as people start filling this form, I can start seeing the responses directly in this sheet. So this is one step
Yes.
where
Sorry to interrupt you. There's a question from Soumya asking where to create the category.
yeah.
Could you just
Um,
clarify that?
okay, category of the form.
That's
So
right.
okay. So yeah, so I'll just quickly go back to the page. Yeah, so category of the form is essentially it's like a it's like a drop down, and it's so much about it. You can just select anyone, like select whatever is the closest to your use case, and if you can't think of anything, just select a survey. I'll just pause my video. I think my network is bad. But yeah, let me know if this answers your question. Category has to be created like in the form page itself. It's like a mandatory selection that you have to create. So
Okay,
Amna,
so
does
I
it?
can create I can create right here in the field, right? Or is it just drop down? Because I can only select.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to select from these ones,
Oh,
and
only select from this one. I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
create my own.
and these are essentially like non-important things. It's mostly for Meta to know what type of form it is. It has no impact on the form that you create.
Oh, got it. Thanks,
So it's
Jay.
like, yeah, it's like one of those mandatory fields created by Meta that you have to select before you can create the form.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Cool. So name has to be unique, obviously. You select a category. If you can't think of anything, just select survey. That's like, and it has no impact. You can add a data storage, and as you save it, obviously it creates like, so earlier we had to go to the Meta Playground UI, but now there is a UI with which you can create the form within Glyphic. I'll quickly explain this UI. So in the form, it can be like a multiple screen forms. So adding new screens adds like new screens. You can delete whatever screens that you create, whatever you think is not necessary. You can change the name of the screen over here. And then within the screen, there are like this add components. So then you can add all these components that are available right now over here. So like this should help you to create like majority of your of the like of the use cases that one may have. And yeah, this similar to how Meta Playground has, like those who were in the beta trial. But yeah, so like just to share an example, and this preview right now is, let's say, so yeah, like there are some things which are just like text, like just headings and captions, just to, like display the kind of like like a message or explainer messages. And then there are these other type of selections where there's like a short answer, so you can have uh, the Again, like, so there are some limitations in terms of like these things which are kind of like mentioned over here. So you'll have to remain within these things. But then wherever there are like limitations in the form, there's like these instructions which are like slightly bigger. So this totally works in a way so that there's like a header to the question, and then there's like explainer helper text below the form, which can kind of like explain the idea. How many? So. Yeah, for now you can just ignore my English and things like that. But then yeah, so there are some things you can add validation over here where it's like only accepting number format. So like whenever someone clicks this thing, only the number pad shows up. So it won't have even the text format. If you do like email over here, so it'll make sure that there's like an at and something.com which there in the field, and it will not allow someone to go beyond this one. Similarly, yeah, like like these are all various options by Meta. I don't think all are useful, but then maybe for us, like a useful one is like where there is like numbers. So let's say here we want to ask how many months pregnant are you, and it should be a number, so that it helps us this thing. Hmm. Right, so like there are again like there is need for creating these small headings, large headings, because the way questions show up in the form, those are like it comes up as like smaller text many times. So like in order to show the question properly, you may have to use elements like small heading and large heading just to like give like like give a nice UX to the form. So this is one of the things that we'll have to create. There are other things which you can use, like let's say like like check boxes. So you can give options like yeah symptoms faced, for example. Uh, yeah, things like that. So we can add more options, and this will be like a multi-check thing. So that's what multiple choice options is. I'll just quickly check what are the other options. Uh, Stomach pain, things like that, right? Like um, so we can create a form. We can create options like this. For now, I'll just create things. Then later we can clean it up. But just to give you an idea, and let's say like now I want to add a new page, and let's say I call it page 2 of 2, and I'll add um saying, do you need a callback from our team? For example, I will do uh, need callback. Yes, no. Yeah, and I'll so button over here is called finish. Again, there are things like required. If you want to make it required, not required, um, you can do like all these things. You can add media in this page. You can add yeah, you can add like opt-ins. You can make it like a drop down also if you think like there are more number of options. But yeah, drop down is like selecting one of the options. So like how you want to create the experience, this is how like these are all the options that are available, and we are able to create the thing. I'll quickly explain what this so like there's other elements on this page. So there is like this there is like this section where you can create the form. There's like a preview section over here, and then there's something called as field names. So what this field names is like when so like there is this first short answer, right, where we are asking how many months of pregnancy is the person in, and so the response is getting stored under this field header. So whatever so this field name is actually just capturing the header under which the form will. So we have this Google sheet, right? So over here the this will be the header of the field under which the responses are getting captured. So like um for this particular question for that particular answer, it'll populate under that given field name, and the field name is something that you can change. Um, uh, so in case you want to, like, for your later data use purposes, like if you want to link it to some other database and all those things, so in case you need to change that, you can change that. So that's what the field name thing does. This form JSON, and then there's like this form JSON and form builder. So there are like two views you can like use to create the form. One is this form builder view, right? Like, so where you have all the elements and you can add new screens, and add components using the UI. And then there's a form JSON view, which is like essentially this is the entire structure of the form that is getting created. It has all the lists, it has all the options, it has all the headers and all the option names, everything else, which keeps on getting added. And I'll just explain more about this, but before that I just want to show what happens. So like whatever elements you add over here, screens you add, all those things, the form JSON keeps on getting built in the background. And this form JSON is important because this form JSON is eventually what gets submitted to Meta, and then this becomes usable in your flow. So there can be multiple ways in which you can create the form, because eventually what you need is a form JSON, which would have all the details, and the form JSON is what will be used. Basically, like that's the main element of forms, which needs to be correct in order for a Meta to accept it. I'll quickly pause. If you have any questions, there's also this thing of all the revisions that you have created. So once you save it, this revision history will go away, and then there's like form becomes immutable. So there is form JSON form builder, and then there are these two things. So once you're done creating a form and you're happy with the experience that you have created, so you can see like page 1, I can see page 2 over here. Do we need callback? If I'm happy with this, what I can, I mean, obviously I can save draft and I can go back and I can come back later and continue creating from the state it was in. Once I've created it and once I'm happy with the form, the last step that I have to do is submit to Meta. Because submit to Meta will publish this form. By publish, we mean like like after this, the form becomes immutable. Like it can't be changed after changing after this thing, after publishing, after submitting it to Meta. So so be careful, like this can be done only once. And if you submit it and you have to modify it further, essentially it just means that the whatever is in published state, you will have to take the form JSON from there, copy the JSON, create another form, and continue building from there. So unless if you find that whatever form you have created, it's not like you have to iterate on that, you have to create, like, it's not in the right version. So you'll have to just create further. So like that's why the form JSON is there, the preview is there, and then there's like the final step to submit to Meta. I'll pause here for quick questions because this was just all about like how to create the form, how to get it to a decent UX, like the creating to the experience that you need, and submitting it to Meta, which is the final step, which you should do. So once it's submitted to Meta, it'll, like, before that it's in draft state, and you can keep on saving changes as you go along. Once it's submitted to Meta, it becomes published state. After which you have to take the next step with the forms.
Tejas, there's a question from Jyoti.
Hmm.
Jyoti, could you please elaborate what your question is? Like, are you asking what a form JSON is? Okay. The question Jyoti is asking Tejas is what is a form JSON?
Got
Can
it.
you touch light upon that a bit? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So basically, whatever as we create a form, right? As we create this form on the form builder page, all this, like all the detail, like basically all the things that we are putting in the all the details that we are asking, like what should be the label, what are the options that are there, under what heading it will come. That is that basically form JSON. How do I say this? Basically, it's the like this is the code which Meta understands on what exactly is contained in the form. Form JSON is the like the code language which Meta understands to kind of like create the form. That's what it is. So basically, yeah, like so the Jyoti, I hope that kind of like gives an idea about what form JSON is.
It replied okay, and
Ah,
thanks.
okay. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay. So I'll just tell you, for example, like now I have,
There's one more question. Please feel free to go ahead and unmute yourself to ask the question. Can see someone's raised hand.
yeah, please go ahead.
It's internet.
Go ahead. You have your question?
Yeah, Keshan.
Please go ahead. You can ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Shukridai.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. My question in the you have integrated in the chatbot, the WhatsApp form.
Yes.
Okay. बहुत Shukridai.
Okay. Cool. So I'll quickly go ahead. Some nuances I will get back to in a bit, but now that we have a form in a place where, okay, the first question, like we have the first page where we're asking how many months the mother is pregnant. Here they will have to enter a number. If are there any symptoms that are getting faced, here they can check multiple things, and then they'll go to the next page. On the next page, they can see do they need a call back from the team, yes or no. And then based on that, and then we'll ask them finally, is there anything else they would like to, um, any other help that you need from us, right? So there's like a open-ended question, and then that they can answer. Now we have this form created, and we'll get the answers within this one. We have also linked a Google Sheet, so we should start seeing responses over here once people are filling it. So I'll just quickly go, and the last step is submit to Meta. So now it's asking me, do I want to publish the form? And beyond this, I'll not be able to make any changes. And I've said yes, and now the form is published. So it doesn't take, there's no verification involved. And now the thing is published. And now, as you can see, I can't edit things over here because now, like I have submitted the form. After this, I cannot edit it, but I can just see what that form preview will look like. And I can see what that JSON is, and I can work with the JSON if I need to. Are there more questions? Oh yeah, we can add Jyoti, we can add more than one questions per page. Yeah, okay, cool. So now comes the second part of the thing. Now that you have created the form, like we have this form and we want to send it to we have to send it to the beneficiaries. Like, so how do we do that? So the way forms work in WhatsApp chatbots is that they'll have to be linked to an HSM template. So in order to send a form, you have to create HSM template. So HSM template are, I'm sure like all of you who are using WhatsApp chatbots, you'll know what HSM templates are. There are some people who are new. So HSM templates are messages which has to be approved from Meta. And they need to be categorized under utility or marketing so that, and Meta charges extra for these messages. So I'll just quickly create a message. And these can be in different languages for now, since I have just, I'm create a message. So everything else about the message remains same. Only thing what you have to do is when you go to add buttons, it could be like quick reply or call to action. You have to select WhatsApp form. So here, and then you have to select the name of the form that you have created, and usually the first screen name that will come up, and give it a button title. So fill here, for example. So when someone sees this message, it won't show up like this. It'll show up how form messages show up, something like this. If you are able to see my screen, you can know that it'll come up like the whatever button, that will be the button, whatever is the message, that will be the message. And yeah, this will be a form type of, that's how the final message, like this is an example of what the message looks like. So we have to create this message. For this, we'll have to create the HSM template. We have to give it a button type of WhatsApp form. And if the form is published, it will start showing up the form titles over here. You have to select the form title, and you have to select the page, like, because there are multiple pages. So always the page number one, whatever the screen one you have created, that name will start showing up over here. You have to select that. Then it's the usual of selecting which category you want to apply under, and you can submit it. For now, I've just done it under marketing because this gets approved fast. But I've also created lots of forms for other use cases under utility category, and it gets approved also. So it's not that only marketing gets approved. Utility categories also get approved. And I have not faced any issues with that. So this is how. So once the HSM template is approved, then we can use it in the flow. And I'll just show you how that is like. So this then it's just about how we use a message in the flow. We have to uh, we have to use the send message node, go to HSM templates, and call out that specific template that we have created. So know the name of the template. And once the template is added, make sure there is capturing wait for result this response, because this is the way, like, all the whatever people fill in the form, the responses need to be stored in a result variable so that it is available in your BigQuery. So this is an important node. Capture the results, and then you can use the results in the way that you like. I'll get to that part, but before that, I quickly want to just wait for questions, and I'll also show the HSM templates once it's approved. So that's all about how to send the forms to the users. So you have to create it. Once created, you have to create HSM template, link the form in HSM template, and then you can send the HSM template in the flow. And that's how the users will be able to get it. I'll pause for like 10 seconds if there's any questions.
I think Green has put a question. I don't know if that's a question. Green, would you like to elaborate on the chat? Okay, I mean, feel free to put it on the chat. I think then we can take it forward from there.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So once the form is created, and once HSM message is also created, we can use it in the flow. Like, once again, let me just see if this one is getting approved. Sometimes it takes a bit longer for some reason, like it's depending. Yeah, so now it got created. Yeah, so like this is the HSM template that we have created, and it's approved. So now we can use this in the flow. So we'll go to HSM template. We can This is the one that we had created, and we can publish this. Right, so now we can actually, you all can try out the form that we have just created. And so now I have this thing, I'm sharing you the responder link just to get an experience of what the questions that we have shared. And this thing. Cargo has a question, can you edit a published form? So Cargo, like we can't edit the published form. Yeah. So like if we have to, let's say if there was a form and it's published and now we realize that there was a mistake and we want to improve on that or like work more on that, we'll have to kind of take this flow JSON and we have to start creating a new form, and then only we can change it. So Meta doesn't allow forms that are published to be edited. Long story short. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Neha, I'll get your question. But for now, I've created this link. I don't know if you're able to click on this link because maybe it's like maybe this is not it's not generating a clickable link. Wait, let me just see if I can send you another link, which is like a link and you can click it. Okay, yeah. So see if you're able to, if you're joining from your phone or if you're joining from your WhatsApp web, or like if it's possible for you to open your WhatsApp web and you can then try out this form. So this should just like, it should just give you the form thing that you created and then you can get experience. And yeah, now you can see like once I've published the form, these fields are automatically created in the Google Sheet that I had. And it will start giving me the results of whatever people start filling in this thing. So by default, these things will be created, like what is the timestamp when someone finished it, what is the phone number, what was the form ID and form name. These are just internal things. And then there are like all these fields that we had in the form, like what was the pregnancy month, what are the symptoms faced, do they need a call back, and is there anything else they would like to say. So these headers are exactly the same as what we had created under the field names. So these headers are the same as, sorry, this one. Yeah. So you can see the headers. Let me know if any of you all are trying the form. I'll probably wait for like a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, there are some questions. Is it possible to design forms in multiple languages on Glyphic? For example, allowing users to select a language, the start, so the rest of the form is delivered in that language. Claire, I will get to this question. How we can create multilingual forms. I will get to this question. It's possible to create, but only thing is, yeah, we'll have to create. So I mean, I'll explain how that can be done. Yeah, so similar to Claire, I think the same question, which is Neha also, right? Like, can the form be in Hindi? Okay, let me see what are the next things. Sending the forms to users. This we have done. Using the forms to using the response to a form in Glyphic for individuals. So now, for example, now in our example, I'll just pause for 10 seconds, like if someone is trying out the form. If not, you can just give me, like use the chat box and give me like a go ahead. You can just type like a go ahead, so that I'll continue with the next bit of our thing. And or if you're trying, you can just let me know, unmute and share that you're trying the form, and we can just wait for like a minute or so. If you're not trying, you can give me a go ahead. So I'll continue with the next section. Okay. 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 So I'll quickly go ahead to the next bit of it. Let me know if you're able to see my screen on the slides page.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so now let's say if you had to use the responses or to a form in Glyphic for individuals, right? Like, so what I mean by this is like we had this form where we have asked for whether they would like a callback, right? Based on their based on what they have said. In page two, we have asked for callback, and this is the need callback. This is the header where we are collecting the response. So, and if you want to like, let's say, take an action based on whether they need a callback or no, and we should, and it should be real time as someone does it. So what we could do in this flow where, okay, this is where they are getting the message to fill the form. This is where all the responses are getting stored. Now we are just closing the thing over here. But what we could also do is we could save the result for this flow. So what I mean by this is all the results of this form, we can give this example form, the result name of form, and the that particular callback was getting saved under the header name. So what we can do is we'll just call callback info. So we are storing whatever is there in at results dot form dot um, need callback. So this is the header under which that thing is getting stored, and this form is referencing that all the results, like all 7 of these results are getting captured under this save result form. And if you want to go into a specific one, let's say we want to go into just this one, need callback one, then we will save that result in the flow. Like, hey, create a new result variable called callback info, and paste that name of paste this information which is present in results.form.need callback. Whatever is info is there in this one, save it in this one, in the above variable, and then we can do, let's say, like split by, for example. So I can do split by a result in the flow. There is the result which I have just said callback info, and if it has yes, if it has no. And based on that, I can do, okay, our team member will connect in a bit. Just as an example, obviously, this will have to be much better. But this is how you can use the results within the flow, like to make decisions or like to, like to give different um, messages, or like to, if you're collecting some important information and you need to act based on that information, that's how you can use the variables. Also, as you can see, some of you have filled the form, and now the results are coming over here. And I also just want to show you, like, like, hey, like, so we had asked need callback. There was supposed to be yes and no type, but here you are seeing option one. So why is that happening? How to make sure that there is, like, even in symptoms phase, there is coming option one, even though we had put those things. So what are those things you need to do to deal with this? I'll explain that in the next section. But I hope this is something, like this. I know this can be a bit confusing on how to use the result, but then there's the documentation is there. We have given it, we explained this thing in detail on the documentation page. So you can always see, like how to do this from the documentation page itself. Like, okay, so how to use the field names in the flow. So here you can kind of like see um, how to get the exact specific thing. So like whatever I just explained, this is all written down over here as well. So you don't have to like, yeah, go back to this webinar always. Right. I'll quickly go to the next section of viewing all the responses in BigQuery. But before that, I'll quickly explain like what happened and why are the like options coming as option one and option two, and what you can do to make sure like whatever options you have created, only those are coming. Right. So that's where, and that's where the form JSON view becomes important. Let's say we have this form. Okay, no, this is not a good example. Okay, we have the similar form. I was doing it before, and we have page two. Okay, let's say we have page one. I'll just see the form JSON, and over here, um, let me open the other one in parallel. Right, so we have this one which was created. As you can see, in the form JSON, there is like this question which is like what's the month of pregnancy. In that question, there's like a helper text. This is what we have put. How many months pregnant are you? And in the data source, basically these are the options. There are like this title, and there's a ID for each title, right? So essentially, the ID is what is getting saved in the backend, but a title is what is shown to the user. Like the title is what is shown in front, but ID is what is captured for the in the backend. So what we can also what we can do, and what you all need to do is this once you create the once you create the forms, and it has like this thing, you have to go to form JSON, and you have to also check the IDs, and you can then change the name of the IDs. So for example, like this title, this for this question, there are like a severe headache. That is the title. I can just call it like headache. Nothing changes for the UI because the title is still severe headache, but the ID changes. Now, I'll just give an example. What if I change the title also? Then the UI also, like what happens to the form, that also changes. But if I let the title be, and if I just change the ID, then apply changes, then the title doesn't change, the ID changes. So whichever component has options, the option names have a title and an ID. So as you create the forms, you have to just come back and check the IDs, and the IDs have to be like, you can just copy and paste the same ID, like copy the title and paste it in ID so that it doesn't yeah, like it remains the same, so that the responses finally, whatever get captured, they have the right information. And this is essentially the like the main idea behind when it comes to multilingual forms. So what multilingual forms is essentially is what the user will see, it has to be in different languages, but eventually you want the data to be in one common language, right? Because then it will involve like a lot of data cleanup effort that you have to do. What if like there was like for this answer, if the forms were in three different languages, and the responses to also were captured in three different languages, then that would mean like you have to spend another like some more time doing data cleanup. So that's why in order to create multilingual forms, you can, so like I have created this form in English. Similar form I can copy. I can create a new form. I'll just give, I know some people, not everyone is aware of Hindi, but just like an example over here, I can paste the entire thing. So the form now is created. Now all I have to do is I have to just change the text in this. Basically, I have to just change the text in the form builder to make it Hindi. So let's say I'll just call it, just giving an example, emergency form check in. Right, so now the same structure is maintained. I have to just change the things so that now the form is in Hindi also, and or it could be then in any other language. So in order to create multilingual forms, you have to create separate forms, like, and then obviously the structure has to be same, so make sure, like, so that's why you can copy like use the form JSON thing, copy it, create another form, and just use the UI to then update the captions while the IDs and all remain the same. So captions of things can be changed from the form builder page, and so all these things when you change, the form will become in a different language, while the responses are always getting captured in the original language that you had created in. I'll pause here because this could be a bit too absorb, but I'll just quickly pause it if there's any question, if there's on how to create multilingual forms. Claire, okay, Claire, Neha. So essentially, like what you have to eventually do is like once the form is created in multiple languages, so each HSM can be linked to only one form, right? So like for this Hindi form, like a different language form, you have to create another HSM. So like basically here now I'll just translate the previous HSM, and what I mean by that is by this translate is like it's not exactly the translate of the thing, but it's like when someone is already selected in multiple languages, based on the language they will get a particular HSM if you send a message to all the users. um yeah, so keep the name same, but I can then change it to Hindi, and then essentially like if I have 20 people in the same collection and their preferred language is like different, and I just have to send them this message, and if under the same element name there are like two HSMs with which are in separate languages, the users will get the form and the HSM which is specific to their language. That is the way that you can create multilingual forms and use them in the flow. I'll quickly go to the BigQuery thing now. So whatever forms are created, they are stored like forms. There's like a WhatsApp forms and WhatsApp form responses. These are the two tables that get created. And all the responses, whenever someone has completes filling the form, they will start showing up in the WhatsApp form responses table. So these are all test data of our internal team members. So just quickly give you a glimpse of this data. And so yeah. Again, so it'll have the entire responses coming up into this form, because each form could be different. So the entire response is getting captured here. We have like also shared a SQL snippet on how you can extract the responses in a way that it comes up in the like a format like this, which has like all the things separated. So that is one way. You have the all the responses streaming into the BigQuery. You can also link the Google Sheet so that directly whoever fills, you can start seeing that information in the Google Sheet itself. And yeah, that is how the responses are getting captured. I think we are over time, so I'll just take like next 2 minutes to quickly run you through a few nuances also. Um, so the nuances are use like I think because WhatsApp forms is a new thing, so the way the UI looks, the UI of the form, like how it will look on WhatsApp, that is something that you'll have to iterate over. So use the elements, create the quick forms. Don't try to create like big forms in the beginning itself. Just see how it is looking on WhatsApp, because the preview on Glyphic, this is not 100% representative of how it will look in WhatsApp, in actual WhatsApp. So depends on like iPhone or Android, the end person getting it on what platform are they using WhatsApp, and there are like a bit more nuances to how it will look. So create a few forms. Like it's important to use things like the small headings, large headings, these ones, just to give it like a good looking thing. So use this wisely. And there's also another place where you can preview the form. So there is this entire documentation page, which is about form, the flow JSON and stuff. So if you copy the form JSON and if you paste it over here in any of these sections, and we can share the link to this one. So we'll also start showing it over here. And this is slightly closer to what it will actually look like on WhatsApp. It's because this is like a Meta's website. It's their like playground. So you can also like use this to kind of like see how it will look. Just to give you a quick example, I just take this form. You know how it's looking over here, but if I just paste the same thing over here and press run, so now it starts coming up over here. And here I can also kind of interact with it, right? So I had put a number validation. So if I try to put text over here, this is what it'll look like to the end user, like enter a valid number. So I'll just put 2, for example. I'll continue. And obviously, right, it's not something that you can kind of like those things. So you can go to the next page by over here. Right, so it's a mandatory thing. So it like, see, you can't click finish unless I have clicked yes or no. And right now, clicking finish and it won't go to the next page. It'll just show you what it is, and then here you can add things like that. So again, this is how it will. This is how it will actually look on WhatsApp. You can use the playground for that. Our preview will make it better slowly and bring it closer to how it will actually look. But right now, it's just to give you an idea of the creating the UI and what those character limits are. So this is one nuance, second nuance, and screen IDs is something you don't have to worry about. Field names I've already explained. Field names are the things that you are capturing, like the details under, and the field names is where data like under that particular field name, the responses to that particular question will start coming up. So field names and option IDs. Option IDs is also you have to look at the option IDs in the flow JSON in order to make sure that the title and the ID, and you need to figure out like what is the exact thing you want to store based on what title you're displaying. So that is the importance of option IDs. Yeah, and so this is and option IDs are important because if you want to capture responses in English or any one common language when the options are presented in multiple different languages. So that is the importance of having these option IDs. Yeah, like, and we are not naming them exactly. Okay, quick limitations, and then we can close it for this one. Right now, not all the elements, like, so there are like a lot more elements in WhatsApp forms that can be done. Just to give you an example, that you can create like like pages like this. Like it has all these different types of text. It has like this. It has like a links that someone can click and go to. So some of these elements are not there right now. You can always create these. I'll show you the workaround for that. But right now in Glyphic UI, you can't create this. Similarly, there is like this calendar picker, which looks instead of like a date picker looks uh, a date picker looks like this. Like they have to get select a date like this. But a calendar picker is something like this, let's say. So this one we are adding support for that. So in the coming weeks, like this, all this will become available in Glyphic. But at present in Glyphic UI, you can't create this. You can create this. So like rich text, embedded links, chip selector, some of these things cannot be created through Glyphic UI. And something about dynamic fields cannot be created from Glyphic UI. But all of these limitations can be overcome if you have access to your Meta business account. So Facebook business account, if you go to your Facebook business account, you can create the forms there. And once you create the forms there, what we have is like, so all of whatever, if you want to create more complex forms, and you can create the forms indirectly in your Facebook business account. And then you can basically whatever forms that get created, we have a sync forms button. So whatever gets created in your Facebook business manager account, if you sync it, it will start showing up over here. So just then search for the name. If the form is in draft state publishes, whatever is the case, it will start showing up over here. So all the limitations that are there right now, it can be overcome in that way. And you can use it like any other form. Yeah, largely that is the thing. And I think in the next side, like in the coming weeks, we are like working on bringing in all these things, which is about calendar picker, if else validations, max and email value, like a lot of other things we are going to add, we're going to introduce like UI, potentially the UI to change the option ID, so it becomes easier. You don't have to go into the form JSON. So like these are some of the things that we are working on. And also we're open to exploring any other feedback based on your usage. This is still new, so we are open to getting feedback on where you are facing challenges. And if there's any use cases where you'd like our help to figure out, we are also open to hearing that. So you can reach out to us on NGO Discord support channel. Yeah, and that's it. I'll maybe take like questions for like 2-3 minutes in interest of time. Else we can also reach out to me directly at I think you can reach out to us as info@glyphic.org, or you can reach out to me directly at tejas@glyphic.org, and we'll be happy to help you figure out how you can use this feature for your NGOs.
Hello.
Yes.
Tejas, there is just one question.
Yeah.
As you mentioned that after we publish the form, we can't edit it, right? So,
Yeah.
I was just wondering whether, like, if I can make any changes in the JSON format where, like, it is saved, as you showed, like, if there is the question ID is there, if we can
Yes.
make changes to there, changes in there and save it, and then the change will reflect.
No.
Or
So, yeah, like, I mean, once you have published the form, then you can't change it. It's like the only way to modify a published form is you'll have to create a new form.
like need to create a form and then that I need to add to the flow.
Correct. So, yeah, you have to be slightly careful before, like, how flows, like when we create normal
Yeah.
Glyphic flows, we can create and use it directly on WhatsApp and then, yeah, and then iterate on it. In this case, we have to be slightly more careful. And yeah, like I think in order to test the exact UI of this, right? Like I think going to the playground, the meta playground, and pasting the JSON there, that is a useful tool. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
And I can also paste the same Google Sheet ka link which is connected to that same like the new form, the new form that I'm creating, and the response will reflect in the same Google Sheet, or I need to create a separate Google Sheet.
This is something that you can explore. I'm not really sure how it will work. I don't know if the same Google Sheet will work, or maybe like I think the way write a Google Sheet works, it starts writing after the latest line that is there, like after the latest entry that is there. So we can explore this. Like I think, yeah, you can explore and
Got
see
it.
what happens,
Yeah.
and what is the best case to handle that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tejas, I have one doubt.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so how to enable this WhatsApp form settings?
It's enabled for everyone. So you should be seeing this in Quick Tools and in WhatsApp Forms. Like you should see a new page called WhatsApp Forms. It's enabled for all.
Okay, currently it is not
It is not.
viewing it from, yeah.
Okay. Strange.
Okay,
I'll just take a look.
sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Tejas,
Okay.
can I come in quickly? Is
Yes,
that
please go ahead.
on?
Yeah.
It's not a query, but I'm just kind of thinking aloud and trying to scope.
Hmm.
So we already have a database of our WhatsApp chatbot users, A. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to conduct a survey of the same WhatsApp chatbot user, which I perhaps do manually to some extent. Now I'm trying to use these forms to cull out information of these same WhatsApp users who are already there in the database and say Flipsy is a pregnant woman and Tejas wants to conduct a survey with Flipsy. And as Flipsy answers the question based on the forms that we create, uh, the Sneha would not have to do double work to extract information from an already existing database. And as I keep on responding to questions that you ask me as a pregnant woman with regards
Hmm.
to my engagement of the chatbot, I am just thinking now whether
Hmm.
that could even be a possibility. And then you don't actually, reinvent the wheel. I'm just thinking aloud because right now we are also working with Glyphic in creating some other kind of WhatsApp-based form. But but yeah,
Yeah.
this is just to mull over.
Yeah, yeah. I think we are already having that conversation with Vinod and I think Rijuta and a few other people. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we are already created a prototype with them. You can see if they can share it with you also.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's something I've created first version of that and we have shared it with them.
Okay.
Right now also like they're trying it out and like they're just like looking at content level feedback. So we have tried like I mean we have created something like you just described with the team.
Yeah. Yeah. I was testing those. Um. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I think if it's, I think I think someone who had asked me like it's not available. Maybe you could just like log in and log out once, and I think it should come up now. I think
Okay,
yeah,
Tejas, I'll try.
yeah, yeah. But right now it should be
Definitely.
available for all. And in case it's not visible for you all, please let us know so we can enable it.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. Okay, cool. So
Thank you, both Shukridai.
thank you, thank you. Have a nice day.
Participants can stay back to ask any questions or put it on the chat. Else, if you all don't have any questions, I'll just request you all to fill in the feedback poll. Yeah, that will just help us improve the webinar.
Any my question in the chat. My question in the deployment.
Yeah,
Cannot
have
Yeah.
you raised the necessary funds for its deployment? So Glyphic is the tool itself is getting used by a lot of NGOs right now. Is there so yeah, it is like it is getting used by 120, close to 120 NGOs, some NGOs from Africa as well. So yeah, if you need to use it immediately or like you need to use it in some like a specific area, like we're happy to chat with you and figure out how it can be deployed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
How do I pronounce your name, Jibrin?
Why Jibrin? My name from Chad, continent Africa from Chad.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Which NGO you work
Next
with?
time in the fellowship Vishakhapatnam.
Oh, okay.
Isaac. Why Isaac? I am TZ.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Have a nice day. Anil, any questions? Okay.